Hello, my friends. Welcome to the Law of Attraction Power Tarot for the week, June 25th through July 1st. And this week, we start off with the energy of a new moon, actually a new moon, supermoon, and it was in the sign of Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. Cancer is mutable energy, flowing, I want to say emotional, family. Mercury is in Cancer as well, and Mercury is, of course, the sign of communication. So this week, I think the flow of energy for us communicating with our friends and family will be a little bit more on the emotional side. Maybe we'll be a little more tender. We'll have better communications with each other. Venus is in Taurus this week, and Venus is in Taurus. It's Taurus's sign, and that's at home. That's Venus is the planet of love, but in Taurus, it's a grounded love, a foundational love. So starting off the week with all of this new moon energy coming into it, that does play into how the law of attraction works with us as well, because, that energy on the outside affects our energy on the inside. So I've already shuffled the cards and I've already drawn the 4 cards. I draw one for overall energy, and then I draw one for the beginning, the middle, and the end of the week. And today, for some reason, something made me look at the bottom of the deck. And the bottom of the deck would probably be considered maybe the underlying energy of the week moving forward. And so the card that was sitting at the bottom of the Law of Attraction Tarot deck, this deck has different depictions, but this would be the Strength card in the normal Tarot deck. And, Strength card, courage. You see a woman here, she's tamed the lion. In Tarot language, it would be you overcoming courageously something that you might have had some fears about. For the beginning of the week, the card that was drawn, I love the way the universe works. This is the Moon card in the Tarot deck. And you see a woman, she is dressed in a long cloak. She's got a hood over her head. And I'm hoping you can see if I get it nice and close. There's her face is in the moon. She is reflecting, the moon is reflecting back to her own features, her own intellect, her own power. In the darkness, though, if you look at the darkness in the trees, you see all of these little dots and stuff. If you can't see that clearly enough, those are eyes. And what that represents is stuff that's hidden, stuff that's unseen, whether it's conscious or unconscious. When I pull this card, I normally think that we are trying to get in touch with something that we have subconsciously suppressed and maybe, is affecting our energy today. When I pulled this card, though, this week, it was really kind of a different feeling for me. The first thing I saw was the eyes in the background, and my first thoughts were getting our vision. Even in the darkness, we're getting our vision. We're starting to see things the way they are, whether that's positive or negative in your life, is going to be different from everybody else's, but you're starting to see things in the dark. You're starting to be able to understand and let go of maybe some old fear energy. For the beginning of the week, the card that was drawn in this tarot deck, this is the depiction, but it's actually the Hanged Man. And, normally the hangman is hanging upside down from a tree, and he's got one leg in a noose, and it really means that, technically he's hanging onto something. There's something he's not letting go of. In this card, I would say it's more that he is trying to hang on. There's something he needs to cross over, and maybe he's not moving forward with that. He's holding back. He's hanging on to old fears. He doesn't have the courage maybe yet to move forward. You see, he's kind of walking on a little tightrope there. Sometimes it takes strong courage to face some of the things that we have to face. Maybe it's dealing with old issues, old relationship issues, whether it's family of origin or lovers. You know, he's trying to balance himself in between what he's walking away from and what he's walking towards. In the middle of the week, the card that was drawn, this card is the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands in this card, it represents your ship coming in. You know, for a lot of us, we are always standing on the shore waiting for that ship to come in that's going to change everything and make everything all right. In this case, the ship represents travel. It represents victory. You know, we've overcome something. Let me see. I'm going to check my notes for a couple of things. There were a couple of things I wanted to make sure. It also means for this in the law of attraction, it means that a cycle is ending. The ship has finished its voyage. So maybe you were transversing through some sort of a period of time. My first thought is college students. You know, you're ready to graduate college, and so now your ship has come in. You're finished. You've ended that cycle. You've got victory because you've graduated. You've got your diploma, and now it's time for a new cycle. It's time for you to travel into new waters, whether it's in a job or, you know, maybe onto another form of education. Maybe you're going for a master's degree. It also talks about having a goal that you've completed after a long period of time trying to reach that goal. Positive transformation at all levels. For the end of the week, the card that was drawn, you can see it. This is the King of Cups. And, you know, he's standing, it looks like he's chairman of some business, and he's standing in front of a chart, and he's got a pointer, and he's pointing to it. What this stands for, though, in the Law of Attraction deck, it stands for professionalism. You know, oddly enough, it's also an enamored vision of the world. Standing from his viewpoint, you know, he's pointing at a chart that's going to move this company forward in some way. And so he's looking very happy, you know, like this is the future. We're gonna make X amount of dollars. This business is going to grow exponentially. We're going to get, you know, we're going to overcome whatever past issue, problem, fear, whatever it was. It's overcome. It also talks about this guy having physical attraction. It talks about relationships. In a relationship, in any relationship, really, the key to beginning in that relationship is usually a physical attraction. You are physically attracted to a person's physical appearances. Maybe it's their character. Maybe it's who they are on, you know, a deeper level. But there has to be attraction. Without attraction, you know, the relationship can't last and master its way through the storms. This card also talks about the joy of living. And I'm going to go back to the Hangman a little bit because there were a couple of things that I didn't mention with this card. This also represents maybe some adverse events coming up in the future that can throw you off balance. Maybe it's not yet time to decide on a situation. There may be something that's been looming over you that you feel like, if I make this decision, I could get through this and get on with my life, sort of a thing. But it's not time yet. And the reason it's not time yet is because the universe has to have time to make that situation mature to its highest level so that you can actually have victory over it in the end. Sometimes we see the ship come in, you know, and we get all excited. Oh, my ship's here, my ship's here, my ship's here. But once they unload the ship and you see that it's just an empty ship and all the cargo's gone, had you waited a little bit longer, you might have seen that they were going to fill that ship back up before they sent it out. So, there might be a situation or an event coming up in your life over the next few days that needs more time, before you make that snap decision. If it's in a relationship, the relationship's going to need more time for it to develop and mature so that you can feel like it's a really worthwhile relationship or somebody that you do want to spend more time with. Coming off of the new moon, we're a little more emotional than normal, so maybe something gets said and we take it the wrong way. Coming towards the end of the week, of course, we're coming into the 1st of July, and, July is going to be a 7-month, and it's going to be a different energy. July 4th is coming up that's next weekend, and here in the United States, that's a big celebration for us. We celebrate July 4th as a date of independence, and, there's a lot of festivities that go along with it, and, as for us as fellow Americans, we kind of take pride in a lot of that stuff. And, we have fireworks go off, and, we usually have barbecues, and we're around family and friends, and, there's beach days and swimming and all kinds of good stuff that goes on. But it's a lot of interaction on a familiar level. And sometimes, families know how to strike our emotions, positive or negative. So just be careful of that. Be aware that this week your emotions may be a little higher, on the level of a scale of 1 to 10. They may be more of an 8 than normally, they're a 5 or a 4. And be aware of the fact that there's something, whatever's been hidden, that comes to light, makes your ship come in, makes you meet Mr. Right, Mr. Wonderful, and everything turns out better in the end. But without giving the week time to mature, if you make too rash of a decision too quickly, it's not always the right thing to do. So with that, my friends, I wish you all a wonderful week. I thank you for, listening to my little card readings here week after week. I hope that they bring you some insight. I hope that they help you to stop and look at your energy. Just remember that whatever's going on within is going to reflect without. So pulling your energy into a more positive internal feeling is going to make more positive externally as well. So thank you, my friends. Have a great week.